All right.
Okay.
It is fight night. Welcome, everyone, to another live session of Street Fight Politics with your host, Harry Ramsbottom, and my peripatetic co host, somewhere on the highway in northern Arizona right now, heading rapidly to the to his house so he can watch the debate tonight. Tonight's going to be short. Really and truly, everybody wants to go watch the debate, and we can't compete with that. So here I am with my game gear on, my Tim Waltz hat, and my Tim Waltz shirt, and Ed and his Doc Eddie and his scrubs. So, what do you think, Ed? What's going to happen tonight?
Well, I fully expect this is not going to be anything like you've ever seen before, because this is going to be the troll match of literally all time. They've been prepping Kamala. I mean, they've been hurling insults at her left and right. Vile stuff. So she's prepared and ready to throw it right back at him. In fact, I'm guessing that she's going to be going after him, because the whole point is keep pushing him until he turns into a slobbering, raving lunatic. And I figure, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, if she does what I think she's going to do, he's not going to be able to answer a question after that.
Well, I think the operative word you said in all of that was guessing, because we really don't know. We don't. I mean, I think she's going to do fine. She's certainly seen worse people than him. And you're right.
Well, that's the thing you got to remember. She prosecuted, drug lords, killers, pedophiles. She's not afraid of this guy.
No, but it has been a while since she was actually in a courtroom. It has been a while since anybody, stared at her cross-eyed. So who knows? I mean, these are very human reactions that anybody can have. I think she's going to be fine. I'm really curious about what he's going to do. Is he going to be that slobbering idiot? Or is he going to be more measured? We've seen him actually be a little more under control than he currently has been, or he recently has been. But will he be tonight? Will she get under his skin? I don't know. This is what makes it kind of a magical night for me, is we really just don't know.
Well, it's all going to depend on what drugs they hop him up on, because you can guarantee they're shooting him up with something right now. So are they going to have him go in, on Thorazine, where he can barely, keep his mouth closed, so he doesn't say anything? Or are they going to be having him on, some legal form of crystal meth, so he's going to be, going like a raccoon, trying to get into a garbage can? So I think you're going to get a hint right off the bat, because I think they're going to come out swinging. And I'm going to throw that back at you, that Trump hasn't seen anybody like her. They've never met. They've never crossed paths. They've never talked. They've talked about each other in commercials, but not face to face.
No, that's true. They've never met.
So I think that's more where Trump is going to be the one that's going to be, put off guard, because this is not Hillary. Hillary, is playing by the old rules. This is somebody that's coming in, she's prepped and ready. This is a gutter fight, and she's coming armed with, knives and guns and zip guns, whatever. And Trump's not ever faced this. Not in the Republican primaries in 16. Definitely not here in 20. She's going to be coming with a flamethrower, and it's going to be interesting to see how he responds.
Well, the difference is that you're making a prediction, and I'm not. The only thing I've said about any kind of future is I think she's going to do fine, and that I'm curious to see how he's going to do. But we really don't know, and I think there's an awful lot of people, literally millions of people right now, with their fingers crossed one way or the other, waiting to see what's going to happen. Only the true MAGA idiots are absolutely certain that he's going to look great.
Well, if you look at what's coming out of the Trump camp, they're terrified, because Trump has almost nothing to get.
You're breaking up, Ed.
Knows what he
you're back now.
Okay.
Just to let you know, by the way, Laura C says, hello, Ed, and thank you for the invite.
Very good. We're glad to see you here. But, Trump has lots to lose in this. Lots to lose, because everything is going to be, on video, on audio. If there's some major screw up, you're going to be seeing it over and over again for the next 57 days.
Well, you're right. He has a lot to lose, in that he's not right now gaining any followers. He's got his 48% or whatever that number is, given the day, that are going to follow him no matter what he does. He could literally, like he said in 2015, 2016, he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and nobody would leave him. Not his hardcore base MAGA idiots. But the reality is most of America isn't in that camp. And what's at play here are those independents out there. That's really and truly who's at play. You and me, we're not voting for anybody else but Kamala. We're just not. There is no other choice. It's an existential threat if Trump gets into office. But there's a lot of Americans who still don't feel that way. I don't know why. I don't see any excuse why somebody wouldn't feel that way unless they were just a MAGA moron. But there we are. And I think the latest poll says there's 28 people in that poll. 28% of people in that poll said they don't know enough about Kamala. What does that mean? I don't know. But
that means
98, I think it's 98% said they know enough about Trump.
Yeah, well, who in this world hasn't run across him, some point or another over the last, 20, 30 years? He's a known commodity. And nothing that you and I can say is going to shake their belief in what they believe about Trump.
Well, what kills me isn't that it isn't that there are 28% of the respondents don't know enough about Kamala. It's that all the people who do know enough about Trump, why the hell would anybody support him? I don't get it. I never have. But I knew who Trump was back in the 80s when he was, some loudmouth from Manhattan, or Queens, actually, working in Manhattan. So when he suddenly came on everybody's radar screen, he'd been on mine forever. I'd already discounted him as an idiot. But anyway, here we are. We're going to see what happens.
I made that same mistake in 2016. I thought I was hoping he would win the nomination because he would be so easy to beat. And, that obviously was a massive mistake. And
I made the same mistake.
But I think a lot of people did. We're not making that same mistake again. Well, the other thing is, I'm still curious, how much cover did Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney and all these other people that are, Dick Cheney is, as far as I'm concerned, is so far to the right, Attila the Hun looks like a socialist. Well,
the reality is Trump and MAGA are not conservative.
Correct.
They're not. So it makes sense that the Cheneys would come out. It would make sense, honestly, if the Bushes would come out. They're not going to, or at least George W. isn't going to come out. But yeah, the true conservatives of the F. Scott, or the Buckley era, want to have nothing to do with this guy. It's the I don't know, neocons. I don't know what you call them. Honest to God, it's just MAGA. It's MAGA that want them.
Well, the MAGA guys that I'm seeing are all these guys in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and up. I see them going around town. They're in their truck. They've got their hat on backwards, with 3%er logos or some decal that is that all the guys that are doing it that are part of the Oath Keepers and that stuff, and that crowd is I don't know other than the fact that they hate anybody that they see as socialist, liberal, progressive. I really don't know what they stand for.
Most of them just want to break things. Honest to gosh, that's what I see is most of these hardcore folks who never voted before 2020 or 2016, they just want to break things. They just want to upset the order. You know, they're pro-Putin, they're pro-Russia, they're pro anybody that's against the United States, and really that's the ultimate thing. They're against the United States. They're
So they're
against the
trying.
Constitution. They're against democracy. They don't like it. They don't trust it. They don't understand it. They never ever learned anything about it, so they don't know what they don't understand. And they just think Trump is going to come in there and upset things and upset the apple cart, and somehow it's going to magically work. It didn't work 4 years ago, but I don't. Apparently, a lot of people don't remember that. So again, we're going to find out. I'm not nearly as sanguine about the results of this election as you are. You've said it's going to be a blowout, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's going to be close, just like it was in 16, just like it was in 18, just like it was in 20, just like it was in 22. And nothing has magically changed. Laura C says there are a portion that are educated and you thought were smart that support him too. Well, that's him, Laura, not me. That's Ed that may have thought they were smart. I did not.
Here's the difference between 2018, 20, and 2022 and now. You've got abortion on the ballot pretty much nationwide. That's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of women, especially in MAGA households, that are scared shitless of their husbands, boyfriends, that once they're in the voting booth, they're going to mark that down for Democrats. They'll come out and say, yep,
that could be. That could be, but if you look at the polling, and again, I'm not saying the polling is correct, but it's an indicator. You look at the polling, and there are an awful lot of people in Missouri that support the abortion amendment to their constitution, the abortion resolution they're voting on, and there's an awful lot of people that are supporting Trump in overwhelming numbers. Now, how somebody can go into the voting booth and vote on one issue, against abortion, and on the other side for Trump, I don't know, but I've seen it happen. And, strange things happen when people just don't really think logically. And unfortunately, in elections, a lot of people think illogically. A lot of people think emotionally. And they want mom, apple pie, and guns. And they think Trump's going to give it to them. And a lot of them are going to vote that way. Do I think Kamala's going to win the election? Yes, I do. Do I think it's going to be a blowout? No, I do not. I think it's going to be a squeaker, and I think we're going to be still sitting around somewhere close to Thanksgiving wondering who the actual winner of the election was and who's going to be our next president.
Well, that's why I've always been saying I will not rest until she's sworn in on January 21st. And, November 5th is just the end of the beginning, and then you start, the real fight. And
let's talk about that. Here's a very real scenario. Kamala wins, but the House of Representatives is controlled by the Republicans still. Could happen. I hope it doesn't.
I don't think so. But yeah, okay, we'll go ahead with the argument.
But it could happen. And in that scenario, we now have Speaker Mike Johnson, or whoever the hell survives the free-for-all that there's going to be on the Republican side, controlling the voting in the chamber. It would be even worse if the Senate is taken over by the Republicans, which is far more likely right now, honestly. So we could have both houses of Congress controlled by the Republicans that are in the position of supposedly voting in or affirming the electoral vote for Kamala Harris. And of course, who's certifying that vote as the Vice President of the United States? Kamala Harris. What are they going to do? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing, Mike.
The only way to inoculate herself against that is to make sure that it's Democrats that control the House, and that's going to be a hell of a fight.
But the thing is, though, and you better look at Venezuela, what happened there, where there was, massive cheating and theft, in their election. And what's going on right now, they've got massive social unrest. And if that happens here, that you're going to see that.
It could happen the other way as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it could. It could absolutely happen that that Harris is voted in. Her electoral vote is certified by whichever combination of parties control the House and the Senate, and then you get the idiots out there who are going to jump up and down and scream. And I talked about that a while ago. I don't think you were online at the moment, but I mean that's a possibility. Do I think it's going to turn into a huge civil war? No.
No.
Will there be violence? Yeah, I think there's going to be violence no matter what happens.
Oh yeah, I've been saying that for 3 years now. But the thing is, though, if you have Harris in there, ex-prosecutor, she's not going to be afraid to go bust heads. Biden wouldn't do that. That's not in his nature.
I don't think it's a question of whether she's afraid or not afraid. I don't think it's a question of resolution. I think it's really more of a question of what's going to happen. And how far people are going to take this. So it's going to be fun tonight. Let's just say that.
We'll say that. So I tell you what, why don't we wait and have something real to talk about after the debate, and let's reconvene about 24 hours from now.
24 hours from now, let's take a look and see what happened. We'll come back tomorrow night, same time. That's 7 p.m. Eastern and whatever time that works out to in Arizona time. And we'll dissect what happened tonight and see what goes on. Because right now, all the other headlines, nothing matters right now. There's all sorts of other headlines going out there. Nothing matters. It's all feeding right into what's going to happen here in just about a little over an hour. So there we are. All right. Well, listen, folks, thanks for joining us for the last 16 minutes. We're going to punt and see what happens tomorrow, because that's where the real news is going to be. And we'll go from there. So that's all I got. What about you, Ed?
Well, I'm here coming downhill from Flagstaff, just getting ready to sit down for what I think is going to be a cage match that you haven't seen since Julius Caesar was running the Colosseum in ancient Rome. So,
okay, well, yeah. I hope your ears pop somewhere before you get to Verde Valley, and that you get to your TV before the game begins, because right now we're looking at just over an hour and a half. All right, folks.
Okay,
we'll see y'all tomorrow. Whoever wants to join us, and we'll both be online, and Ed won't be driving, and we'll have a more face-to-face conversation. Thank y'all, and we'll see you later.
Okay, see you then, guys. Bye-bye.